Okay, welcome back. In these tutorials so far to try and make this desk tidy, we have completed the base, the dowel, the rail and the side. And as we've gone on, the parts have got progressively more challenging. So we're going to move on to the next part, which, just looking at the original tutorial here, is the acrylic side, which is a lot more challenging than the rest and has got quite a bit going on. So without further ado, we're going to get going. So with a bit of paper that's folded over in the corner, we're going to click on that. We're going to create a new standard millimeters part, and we're going to start a new sketch, start 2D sketch on the XZ plane. And there's several ways of doing this. This is the way I'm doing it. You may find another way that you think's better. I don't mind, as long as we get the same end result. So let's draw a line down here, 107. I might just need to zoom out to give myself a little bit more room to work with. Take a line across at 3, that will be the thickness of our acrylic. Now I know that the acrylic's 3mm thick and I need to take that off the top, so this needs to be 104. Go along here, it needs to be 45 across, but bear in mind I've already come across 3, so I need to take 3 away from 45, which is 42. Then I'm going to go up 90 degrees by 3 and come across, and hopefully this should meet back again at our starting point to have created the side profile of our acrylic. So I can come away from my sketch now, finished sketch, and I can extrude. This obviously worked all right, so I can change my extrusion to 110, and I'm going to zoom out, and there we have our part so far. Now if we look at the original picture here, you will notice we have radiused our corners. So that's the next thing we need to do. So I'm going to select the fillet tool, and I'm going to change our fillet radius to 15. We've used the fillet tool before, so we should be getting quite proficient with it. I'm going to select that corner there. Notice it's gone white when I select it, and that one there. So I've hovered my cursor over it, select that white. It's ghosted in what I want. Looks good, so I'm going to click OK. So that is our filleted corners. The next thing we need to do is draw the holes that we removed from it. So I'm going to start another sketch. I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this top face here, and I can then, I'm going to zoom in. I'm in the pan mode at the moment. I want to remove myself from pan mode, just zoom in, so I've got enough to work with. Now, I would suggest here putting a centre line in to put the holes on. We can remove that later, but I'm just going to draw a line from a point there to a point on that line there. It's 110, it's at 90 degrees, so I know that's good. Now, I need to centre this across. We know that it's 45 across, so if you look, if you're just going to use a dimension tool just to put it in the right place. It's gone, we've got a white square at the end there, and I'm just going to click on that line there and change this to 22.5, and that is good. And I'm going to draw 3 circles to start with. Now I'm just going to snap my centre points of the circles of that line, and they need to be 11 diameter. And just by having this centre line just means that we have to use the dimension tool less, and it's going to make our life a bit easier. So 11 there. And this is where the dimension tool comes into its own. I need to spread it out, so the bottom size needs to be 22.5 from the bottom, so just taking that there to that there at 22.5, 22.5, go. The next one needs to be, the spaces between them are going to be 16 millimeters, so all we need to do is change these from there to the centre point of that there needs to be 16, and I'm just going to double check that there, and the centre point between that one there and that one there needs to be 16. So I've got my 3 holes there as per that there, and the next thing we need to do is put our square hole in for the for just having a bigger thing to put implements through. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle, and it won't be a rectangle, it'll be a square actually, so I'm going to toggle between the two, 25 there, tab, 25, and go. And again, I just need to center this and position it more accurately. So I know that the gap between the top edge of my acrylic there and there needs to be 20, so I'm just going to go from that end point to there. Actual fact, I'm just going to go from there to there, and it's not letting me do anything, so let's just zoom out a little bit, see what other dimensions are in place. It should be okay. So I'm going from there to there. Now that size there needs to be 20, and I'm going to go another dimension from there. I need to go from there to there, and just put another dimension in place from there. From that end point there to that line, it's not giving me the dimension I want, but that gap needs to be 10 millimeters. So it needs to be from there to there. It needs to be 10, just type in 10, and I've got my square drawn in. Now if you notice on the drawing, these are actually radiused off, so we can actually use the radius tool or the fillet tool in sketch mode as well. So I'm going to put a fillet in there. The default setting is 2, we're going to change that to 5, and I'm just going to click on there to there, and if you notice again it ghosts it in, so before I commit to it, it will just show me what I'm going to get. So I've got there to there, select that line, select that line, select that line, and select that line, and we look like we are just about done there, which is good. It looks slightly complicated there, but that's exactly what I want. I'm going to finish sketch, and there's a lot going on there, so we need to do some extruding now. So I'm going to just load up the extrude tool. I might just pan across so I've got a bit of the component to work with. I'm going to select what I need to select, so it'll be that bit there, that bit there, that bit there, that bit there. Now you've probably realised that we don't want to add any material, we want to remove it, so I'm going to just reverse the extrusion, so we're removing material rather than adding it, and I know that the acrylic is 3mm thick, so all I'm going to do is type in 3, click the tick, and there we have our acrylic back piece. So let's just zoom in there to give it a bit of clarity for you, and that is that part. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you when we're going to assemble our product. Well done.